Hey, Jim here. I want to do a quick talk here for landscape business owners only. So if you're not a landscape business owner, hardscaper, or a lawn maintenance company, you probably don't want to hear this. Going to be boring for you. But anyhow, here in my office, real quick, wanted to go over a couple things. Run a landscape business can be very trying, and I wanted to go over something for you to think about that may help you out a lot in how you view your company and how you may change it for the better, right? Because what we do here at Seven Figure Landscape Network is always add value and we always help you become more profitable. So think about this. And, this might sting a little bit, but if someone came to you today and offered to sell your business, the exact one you built, the one you have today at full price, would you buy it? Would you buy it? Right? Not based on how hard you worked, right? I know you put a lot of work in it. Landscapers are very hardworking people, and not based on how good the work looks, right? I'm talking your systems, your team, the profit, right? If you showed them your books, is it those numbers appealing to somebody looking to buy your business? And or something we often don't put into the equation is the freedom. Are you wearing a ball and chain on your business, honestly? Or do you feel like the business is running you? Or do you have freedom? You can step away, not think about the business. It runs on its own for full time or part time, right? But these questions you got to ask because a lot of times when you ask a landscape business owner, what's it worth? He values it on how many years of he's been in business, right? Um, and that's good, but that doesn't always. That's not what's going to sell your business. So you have to value it on your the systems, that your team. Like, are you able to find, hire, and recruit people, and then are you able to retain them? Because if you don't have that put into your place and you're selling your business, it might be a hard sell. Because this is what a new person looking to buy your business wants to see. They'll look at your work and be like, oh, that's nice. And you've been at it for 25, 30 years. That's great. But how's it going to work for me? Like, I'm stepping into your business. Do you have a good team? Are you making money? Have you put systems in place that you can walk away from your business? These are the exciting things that somebody's going to look at and something to think about. And some of you are sitting there right now going, I'm nowhere near that. And I get that. But this is why I brought it up. This is something you want to work on because this is what's going to increase profit in your business, knowing your numbers, putting systems into place, and then also being able to sell it, right? If you want to down the road. So here's why it matters. If you wouldn't buy your own business, what are you really building, right? A job that you're stuck inside, or are you building an asset someone else would pay top dollar for? And this is what I want to unpack a little bit today. So if you guys have any questions, I know we're on TikTok and Facebook, my business profile, and also in live in my and also on YouTube here. So if you have any questions, just hit me up. So here's the fire yourself test. Imagine firing yourself today and hiring a smarter, more strategic version of you, right? And then ask, what would that person fix in the next 7 days? And this is one thing I did in my business. I hired hundreds and hundreds of employees over my 35 years in the landscape business. And I always told my crews, like, if I could find somebody better to take my spot as the owner, I would do it. That was my thinking. Like, I was always looking to duplicate myself and find, people who are faster, smarter, who could run the business. Because I understood that I wasn't great at business. I had flaws in my business, how I ran it. And I was always willing to find somebody who could run it better. I did a good job, but there's always better people out there who can do a better job if you find them. So what would this person fix in the next 7 days? Let's say you had Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank come on. If he looked at your business, what would he do? Do you think he would grab a shovel and run out in the field and start digging trees? Do you really think that billionaire mindset would do that? I don't think so. I think he would probably look at the business. He'd probably first look at the numbers, see where you're at, what profit you're making. If you're making profit, why or why not, right? He would fix that first. Then he would look at, like, okay, how do you delegate work? How do you give directions to your team? What systems do you have set in place? Is your pricing right? Is the accountability there from your team? Do you have good client communication? These are the things somebody like Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank would probably look at, or Mark Cuban, any of those guys. They would not grab a shovel and be in the field, run the skid steer or digging holes, guaranteed. So think about that. So if these guys are billionaires, why would you not want to repeat what billionaires do and go against that? Because when you're in the field working, you hit a certain level and you're not going to grow past that level. And it's not a good business plan, because if you get sick or hurt, your business fails basically, or it gets set back tremendously. So the point is, most owners are terrible employees in their own company, right? They work hard, but they don't build value. We need to build more value in our companies. Um, so that's the question: is do you have crew issues? That's training. That's training system. Profit leaks. That's job costing and pricing structure. If you're stuck in the field, that's a leadership development and delegation problem, right? It's as simple as that. I mean, and this is what we solve in the Seven Figure Landscape Network. We hold the hands of business owners, no matter if they're in business 2 years or 35 years. We have companies all over, anywhere from 500,000 up to $5 million in the group, and we help solve these problems for them. And when you do, you just become more profitable. So the goal isn't just the income, it's building something that could run without you. So if you sell it or not, you still want to get it set up in this manner, because the businesses that sell for the most money have systems that make results repeatable. The leaders, you know, they're leaders other than the owner, and the profits aren't dependent on 80-hour work weeks, right? It's the mentality sometimes is like, well, if it's not working, I'll just work harder. And that's a lot of times setting you back, because not working harder, that's the problem. It's the how you work. It's working smarter. That's the problem. So I'll leave with this. I'm going to run. I got the busy schedule. I know you guys too. So if you fired yourself, I'm going to ask this, and I want you to think about this. Take this to heart. If you fired yourself today, what's the first thing the new you would fix? Or if you found somebody else to come in and run your business, like a Mark Cuban or a Mr. Wonderful, what would they do? What would they look at your business and what would they do? Would they grab a shovel and head to the field? Probably not. But what would they do? What would they work on? And these are the things you want to be working on, right? So the question is to think about, what would I fix in my business if I fired myself today, right? Think about that. Write one thing down, send it off to me. I can give you some feedback. I can give you some first steps to take to help you become more profitable. That's my goal. That's what I do. Um, so the fastest path to freedom and profit isn't working harder. It's thinking like an investor. Stop running your business like a job and start building it like an asset. So hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, like I said, hit me up. My name's Jim Wirtz, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.